What's good, everybody? It is your boy Tony the Savant back again. Hope everybody's having a good to great day, man. If y'all don't mind, swing by the Instagram page, Tony the Savant. Give your boy a follow, dropping exclusives over there as well. Run over to the Twitter or X, Tony the Savant. If you don't mind, give your boy a follow. We dropping some exclusives over there as well in the Twitter spaces. And of course, the headquarters, the Facebook page, Tony the Savant, Thee, on that platform. Uh, as I do have the Facebook show go live over there. And then, of course, here at the crib, YouTube. Y'all don't mind, like, subscribe, comment, hit the notification bell so you can be notified when I'm dropping content on the channel. All right, man, let's get right into this because I think I just found my new favorite sports analyst. That's right. Now, once upon a time, Paul Pierce was one of my favorite basketball players, but uh, after retirement, he has found a lane in the life in the media. His first go round back on ESPN. I'll be honest, it was prior to my days in the media, so I didn't really pay attention uh, to Paul Pierce and his takes when he was on ESPN. For the most part, I would see him from time to time. I do remember him saying something on the lines. I think he was saying that he was better than Dwayne Wade or something like that. That was as much or as far as I paid attention to his takes when he was on ESPN. But as of recently, since he started his own podcast with Kevin Garnett, I've enjoyed him a lot more in that lane and in that space as well because that's since he started his podcast, um, I've started my sports journalism career. And so, from time to time, when him and Kevin Garnett are talking about interesting stuff on the podcast, I'll cover it. And they got a pretty good podcast over there. I think it's called The Truth and the Ticket, something like that. But recently, Skip Bayless has probably made the best decision for his own personal career since hiring Shannon Sharp, as he has teamed up with Paul Pierce on the Undisputed Show. Oh, here we go. On Skip Bayless's Undisputed Show on Fox Sports 1. Now we all know Skip Bayless, and probably if you probably know Skip Bayless if you wasn't paying attention to him um, prior to Shannon Sharp. You probably know him from his collaboration with Shannon Sharp, as his time with Shannon Sharp was very good for him, his own personal career as well as his show. Shannon Sharp took that show to all kinds of heights that, of course, Skip Bayless wouldn't have been able to do by himself. But like I said, since Skip Bayless made the decision to bring Shannon Sharp on, I think this particular move is his best move since he made that decision. As Paul Pierce adds an element of realism, he definitely has a fan base of hardcore basketball fans, hardcore sports fans like myself. And so, although the mainstream guys, they've done their due diligence to try not to appease to the hardcore fans, Paul Pierce's takes, I feel like, are a breath of fresh air because he does keep it quote unquote real. He's going to keep it. Um, he's not going to tote the La Media narrative, the La Media line of saying all of the nice stuff about LeBron James and none of the criticisms. And so, I mean, to me, to be honest, um, that was probably the one part when Shannon Sharp was on the show that I did not enjoy, with the cap that Shannon Sharp uh the cap that Shannon Sharp would have for LeBron James. And since his departure, I don't miss that at all, as he's taking that cap right over to ESPN full fledgingly. Um, oh guys, I'm sorry, got a little distracted. Anyway, uh, just jump back on topic. Paul Pierce's addition to the Fox Sports One show, Undisputed with Skip Bayless, I think is a great addition. Like I say, Paul Pierce has a strong following of the old school fans, so I think that he's going to bring that fan base to the show, as well as bring some element of real basketball knowledge. Now, as far as how the actual show went down, uh, Paul Pierce was making a fool out of Keyshawn Johnson. As Keyshawn Johnson, back when the show was just him, Richard Sherman, and Skip Bayless, Keyshawn would do all kinds of cap and just say whatever, as he's come off to me as one of those guys like Nick Wright, Shannon Sharp, Brian Windhorst, these guys that tote the La Media line and say all the nice stuff about LeBron James. Keyshawn Johnson gave me that kind of vibe, and he was going pretty much unchecked on the show because, of course, Skip Bayless can't have real back and forth about basketball. With Skip is a yellow journalist in the sense that he goes for the shock value and the clickbait. Really able to keep Keyshawn in check. But to see Paul Pierce come on the show today and line for line check Keyshawn Johnson on some of the stuff that he used to cap about, talking about the Lakers and LeBron James and all this stuff. Shout out to Paul Pierce, man. He just brought some balance to it and said the other side of the story that we all know, that LeBron James, and he wasn't just riding, he wasn't just knocking LeBron James. It was kind of more so of a conversation that covered the basis of all of the old stars, James Harden, Kevin Durant, all these guys. Paul Pierce is just advocating for the younger guys, and not in the sense of trying to, advocate to a younger audience. He's just saying what I say. The NBA needs to do its job and start marketing its younger stars and its younger teams and its better teams. Paul Pierce definitely displayed some disgust with Skip Bayless and Keyshawn Johnson because they just kept going in these roundabout circles about the Lakers, and Paul Pierce stopped the cap. He said, why are we talking about the Lakers? They're the 10th seed, respectfully. And we need to be talking about Shea Gilgeous-Alexander and OKC and what they're doing, battling essentially the only team in real contention with the Denver Nuggets as far as, seeding goes, the number 1 seed, number 2 seed in that area. I think recently, just last night, the loss that the Denver Nuggets suffered to the Dallas Mavericks after Kyrie hit that amazing one-handed shot. That loss to the Dallas Mavericks knocked the Nuggets out of the number 1 spot and put the OKC Thunder back into the number 1 spot. So it's just, you don't even know this. We don't even know this because, again, Paul Pierce definitely highlighted how I talk about the stars. For whatever reason, it's crazy. There's definitely been a change in the guard, and I agree with Paul Pierce in that sense of these younger guys, these younger stars, getting their lumps and going through their developments. And they're definitely here now, between Anthony Edwards, Luka, Jason Tatum, all these guys, they're here, So there's no real point in keep going back and forth about the LeBrons and all this stuff because I agree again with Paul Pierce. LeBron James is about to be 40. It is amazing, to see what he's doing at his age, of course. But it's not translating into winning basketball. It's not translating even to entertaining basketball. Watching the Lakers is kind of boring. It's pretty much the same old stuff. It's just a bunch of Anthony Davis and LeBron James. And then the role players getting in where they fit in. And something that I even said myself, I feel like the Lakers are better without LeBron James. I like it when the Lakers play with with Anthony Davis and the role players. But when LeBron is out there, like Paul Pierce said, I just feel like he has the offense in the chokehold, and the role players don't really get a chance to get into a rhythm. I could definitely speak to that as a basketball player. When you are on the court, if you just if you playing with those kind of guys that are ball hogs and out there just to get theirs, and they have that mentality of I'm gonna score and do whatever, then the game of basketball does become very mundane. You're just out there essentially getting cardio, and I love that Paul Pierce brought that up because it's not a knock on LeBron in any sense. It's like, okay, LeBron, you can definitely go out there and get your points or whatnot, but you got to be mindful that as the leader of the team, as a team player, you got to get these other guys involved, and sometimes that requires your star players to take a step back. In fact, 99% of the time, for a team to accelerate, it's going to take an understanding from the better players that they have to make sure the weaker links are, not weak in the time of war. And we always seen that with Michael Jordan. We always seen that with Kobe Bryant, to the extent that, when you think of these teams, you can't even think of a weak link on the championship Chicago Bulls team. Although those dudes weren't as talented, all the time, or weren't as athletic, or this, that, and the third. The point of the matter is that there were no weak links when it was time to win championships. Same for the Kobe Bryant championship teams, as far as, the 2010, the 2009, 2010 teams. And so that's what Paul Pierce is saying about, a contending team now. You can't rely just on Anthony Davis and LeBron James the entire time. These other guys are going to play 5-man basketball while you playing 2-man basketball. And there's nothing worse. We seen it last season, last year with the Denver Nuggets and Los Angeles Lakers series. Anthony Davis put up a 40-point game, I believe, like game 1, and then LeBron James put up a 40-point game in game 4. And the Lakers lost both those games because, again, it's just a difference between 5-man basketball and 2-man basketball. So, again, I think I just found my new favorite sports analyst. Got a reason to watch Undisputed now, even just for the Paul Pierce takes. Again, I loved how he was shutting down Keyshawn Davis and really, showing him how to talk some basketball, because no knock on Keyshawn Davis. I feel like he's just trying to ride the LeBron James, is the GOAT narrative to build his own profile, to get his real leg up into the sports world, as it has worked for guys like Brian Windhorst and Nick Wright and Shannon Sharp. It is a gimmick. I understand. I see why these dudes do it, but thank goodness that Paul Pierce and guys like me, we're gonna always come through and provide some balance. But definitely enjoy him on the show. Also want to say the Skip Bayless, man, humble, very humble. Skip was pretty much just concurring everything that Paul Pierce said. So, I guess I could see the Skip trying to get off some of his views and get off some of his high horse. But, we all know that Skip probably carries some of his same views behind the scenes, as far as thinking he himself is the star and then everybody else is the supporting cast. And once the Undisputed gets hot again, ain't no telling how Skip is going to act, at that time. He was willing. Everybody in the room knew that Shannon Sharp was the lifeblood of the Undisputed show, and this fool let Shannon Sharp walk for nothing in return. So, all in all, we'll see how the show goes. I wasn't watching it much before this, but like I said, my boy Paul Pierce is on there, so I'll be watching for his takes. It is your boy Tony the Savant. Please, once again, like, subscribe, comment, hit the notification bell. So you can be notified when I'm dropping content on the channel. Also, swing by the Instagram, Tony the Savant, the Twitter, Tony the Savant, and the Facebook, Tony the Savant, THEE. Hit your boy with some follows. We got some exclusive content coming, all kinds of good stuff, man. We just getting started. But my slogan, y'all the bosses. I'm the guy that loves to work. Let me get back to work. Peace.